Shall we jump into it? Let's jump.
הנה מה טוב ומנעים שבת אחים גם יחד. הנה מה טוב ומנעים שבת אחים גם יחד. הנה מה טוב שבת אחים גם יחד. הנה מה טוב שבת אחים גם יחד. הנה מה טוב ומנעים שבת אחים גם יחד. הנה מה טוב ומנעים שבת אחים גם יחד. הנה מה טוב שבת אחים גם יחד. הנה מה טוב שבת אחים גם יחד.
Shabbat Shalom! I know I am kind of a ghost skeleton, so you might not see me, but it is I, Rabbi Jasper. And I am delighted that all of you came out for services on this All Hallows Eve Shabbat. We begin with lighting our candles on page 120. We gather the light 3 times. 1, 2, 3. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu lehadlik ner shel Shabbat. We thank the Eternal One who commands us to light our Shabbos candles. We turn to page 138 for Lechadodi.
לך דודי לקראת כלה, שני שבת נקבלה. לך דודי לקראת כלה, בני שבת נקבלה. לך דודי לקראת כלה, בני שבת נקבלה. לך דודי לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה. שמור וזכור בדיבור אחד, השמיענו אל מיוחד. אדוני אחד ושמו אחד, השם ותפארת ולתהילה. לך דודי לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה. לך דודי לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה. לקראת שבת לכו ונלכה, כי היא מקור הברכה. מראש מקדם נסיבות, סוף מספח לשבת תחילה. לך דודי לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה. לך דודי לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה. התעוררי, כי באורך ומאורי, אורי שיר דברי, כבוד אדוני עלייך נגלה. לך דודי לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה. לך דודי לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה.
turn to page 140, there are actually many different psalms that we can sing on Shabbat. We tend to stick to our top favorites here at Ohev, but we're going to bring in a new one called Mizmor Shir on page 140, and it's all about singing a song of praise to God. So Mizmor Shir, page 140.
מזמור שיר ליום השבת, טוב להודות לאדוני, ולצמא לשמך עליון, ולצימר שמך עליון. מזמור שיר ליום השבת, טוב להודות לאדוני, ולצמא לשמך עליון, ולצמא לשמך עליון. לחגית בבוקר חסדך, ואמונת שבת לילת. ולצמא לשמך עליון, ולצמא לשמך עליון. כי שמחתני אדוני בפורענך, במעשה ידיך מזמור שיר ליום השבת, טוב להודות לאדוני, ולצמא לשמך עליון, ולצימר שמך עליון, ולצמא לשמך עליון.
Such a great voice. Our next prayer, Shalom Aleichem, if we're going to be talking about the mystical and the mythical tonight, is actually really interesting because they say that when you're singing Shalom Aleichem, it's as if two angels are escorting you to the synagogue. They're walking beside you. You're never really walking alone. And so I encourage you to think, who is walking beside you this evening? Shalom Aleichem, 142.
Shalom Aleichem, Malachei Hasharet, Malachei Elyon, Mi Melech Malachei Hamlachim HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Borchem l'shalom, Malachei Shalom, Malachei Elyon, Mi Melech Malachei Hamlachim HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Baruch Hu ni l'shalom, Malachei Shalom, Malachei Elyon, Mi Melech Malachei Hamlachim HaKadosh Baruch Hu. צאתכם לשלום, מלאכי השלום, מלאכי עליון. ממלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא.
Page 144.
יתגדל ויתגדל שמי רבה,
Amen.
וילמד יברח לרותי וימליך מלכותי, בחייכון וביומכון ובחיי כל בית ישראל, בגלה בגלה ובזמן קריב וימרו אמן. יהי שמי רבה מבורך לעולם ולעלמיה, יתברך יתברך וישתבח, יפאר וירומם ויתנשא ויתהדר ויתהלל ויתהלל, שמי קודשה ברכו לעילה מן כל ברכתה ושירתה, תושבחתה ונחמתה, תאמירן בימה וימרו אמן.
We read together at the top of page 147. There is one who sings the song of his own life, finding everything within himself. Together, there is one who leaves the circle of herself and sings the song of her people. There is one whose voice rings with the song of humanity, hoping for the highest perfection. And there is one who rises even higher, uniting with all creatures, with all worlds, filling the universe with song. Nivarech, let's bless. We rise for the Baruch Hu on page 146.
Baruch hu et Adonai HaMevorach, Baruch Adonai HaMevorach le'olam va'ed.
Please be seated. On the bottom of page 149, we read together, "This is an hour of change. Within it we stand uncertain on the border of light. Shall we draw back or cross over? Where shall our hearts turn? Shall we draw back, my brother, my sister, or cross over? This is the hour of change, and within it we stand quietly on the border of light. What lies before us? Shall we draw back, my brother, my sister, or cross over? Baruch atah Adonai hama'ariv aravim." We bless the Eternal One who brings on the evening. On the next page, 150. "Everlasting love you offered your people Israel by teaching us Torah and mitzvot, laws and precepts. Therefore, Adonai our God, when we lie down and when we rise up, we will meditate on your laws and your commandments. We will rejoice in your Torah forever. Day and night we will reflect on them, for they are our life, and doing them lengthens our days. Never remove your love from us. Praise to you, Adonai, who loves your people Israel." Together, Baruch atah Adonai, Ohev Amo Yisrael. I invite you to rise, turn to page 152 for our declaration of faith, our Shema.
Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad, Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto le'olam va'ed.
Please be seated. Ve'ahavta Adonai Elohecha, b'chol levavcha u'b'chol nafshecha, u'b'chol me'odecha, v'hayu advarim ha'elem, asher nochi mitzavecha, hayom al levavecha, v'shinantam levanecha, v'dibarta bam, b'shivtecha b'veitecha, uvlavtecha v'aderech, uv'shochbecha uv'kumecha, ukshartam le'od al yadecha, v'hayu letotafot b'neinecha, uktavtam al mezuzot beitecha, uvisharecha, leman tizkeru, v'asitem et kol mitzvotai, v'tem kedoshim le'lohechem. Ani Adonai Elohechem, asher hotzeiti etchem me'eretz Mitzrayim, liot lachem le'elohim. Ani Adonai Elohechem, Adonai Elohechem emet. Our last line says, Adonai, our God, is emet, is truth. Now, would you say, Sarah, that we're one big family?
Yes.
A spooky family?
Well, I'll be the witch of the family.
Ah, and I'll be the skeleton.
Okay.
I wonder how this is going to play into what we're doing next. Milchamocha, page 158.
Milchamocha ba'elim Adonai, milchamocha netar b'kodesh, nora tehilot, nora tehilot, osef alev. Milchamocha ba'elim Adonai, milchamocha netar b'kodesh, nora tehilot, nora tehilot, osef alev.
It was so good. I sent Sarah a voice note a couple days ago being like, hey, would this work? It does. You're great. All right. In the spirit of doing things a little topsy-turvy, a little different, we typically have two choices, either Vishamru or Yismechu. So tonight we're going to do Yismechu, page 162.
Shomeri, 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 Shabbat v'koreonek Shabbat. Yismechu v'melechutecha. Shomeri, 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 Shabbat v'koreonek Shabbat. Mekadesh, mekadesh shevi.
We are a people in whom the past endures, in whom the present is inconceivable without moments gone by. The Exodus lasted a moment enduring forever. What happened once upon a time happens all the time. We continue with the Amidah, turning to page 164 and rising.
Adonai וקונה הכל, וזוכר השדה אבות באימהות, ומביא גאולה לבני בניהם, למען שמו באהבה. מלך חוזר ומושיע ומגן, ברוך אתה אדוני, מגן אברהם ועזרת שרה. אתה גיבור לעולם אדוני, בחיי הכל אתה רב להושיע. משיב הרוח ומוריד הגשם, מחכה חיים בחסד, מחיי הכל ברחמים נבין, סומך נופלים ורופא חולים, ומתיר עצורים, ומקיים אמונתו לשני עפר. מי כמוך בעל גבורות ומשום מלך, מלך ממית ומחיה ומצמיח ישועה, ונאמן אתה להחיות הכל, ברוך אתה אדוני מחיי הכל. אתה קדוש ושמך קדוש וקדושים בכל יד יחלו הסלע, ברוך אתה אדוני האל הקדוש.
I invite you to use the words on the page, going through page 180, to be in conversation with the Eternal One. Look inside, have a conversation, use the words on the page, and only when you're ready do I ask you to find your seat. Our hearts turn towards those in need of healing, a complete healing, a rifwash lema of the mind, the body, or the spirit. We think about Rabbi George Astrakhan, Larry Barnes, Michael Begler, Marlene Berman, Barbara Blinn, Andy Brown, Bobby Danowitz, Terry David Heiser, Tracy Dukert, Doreen Everard, Lois Gallowitz, Linda Grobman, Andrew Gordon, Lisa Hirsch, Jennifer Jones, Honey Kibler, David Liba, Deborah Nelson, Steve Naiman, Dr. Lisa Neobingi, Rory Pahoni, Herb Rosenbaum, Virgil Santiago, David Scott, Lori Shepler, Nathan Snyder, Arlene Yaffe, Joan Gibson. If there's any other names you'd like to add, please say them now. We hold these names in our hearts. Turn to page 371 for the Mishaberach.
Before us, help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say Amen. Misheberach imotenu mekor habracha. Those in need of healing with refuah shlema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say Amen.
I invite you to close your siddur. And if it's okay, I'd like to tell you a scary story. A scary Jewish story. A scary Jewish story that has its roots in the Talmud. Sound good to you guys? Now, a couple of you guys were in my Ookie Spooky Jewish class a couple days ago, so it might sound a little bit familiar, but it's a little bit different. The story goes as follows. In the city of Worms, oh God, it's already scary. All right. In the city of Worms, many centuries ago, there lived a holy man by the name of Rabbi Betzalel. Rabbi Betzalel and the Jews of Worms, their life was pretty bitter. You see, each year as Passover drew near, dark rumors would surface, false accusations that Jews used the blood of Christian babies to make their matzah. Unsurprisingly, this put a bit of a strain on the relationship between the Jews and the Christians of Worms. So much so that each year mobs would rise and a fear would fill those narrow streets. The Jews would hide in their homes and wait in the shadows, praying that these mobs might pass over them, much like the plagues in Egypt. At the same time, in the year 5273, or 1513 by our calendar, the holy Rabbi Betzalel had a son. A sweet baby boy, the apple of his eye. And the boy grew, always studying Torah, always listening to his father. You do that, Karen? Good. And when he grew up, he started a family of his own. He decided to move to Prague. This little boy, you see, would turn out to be the infamous Rabbi Judah Loew of Prague, known throughout the generations as the Maharal. He was a man of great learning, a scholar of Torah and Kabbalah. And just like his father, he was wise in law and deep in conversation. Yet when he came to settle in Prague, he found that life of the Jews there was no better than it was when he was a child in Worms. Again, blood libel spread, and again the Jewish community lived in fear. And one night in anguish, the Maharal cried out, "Ribono shel olam, Master of the universe, how long must your people suffer?" Crickets. The Maharal went to bed crying, thinking about his community. However, instead of a restful sleep, the Maharal had a dream. In his dream, a verse appeared before him, the 10 Hebrew words, each following the next in alphabetical order. Create a golem of clay. Destroy those that are tearing Israel apart. And when the Maharal awoke, he knew that God had sent him a sign of what he must do. And on the 20th of Adar, in the year 5340, or 1580 by our calendar, he set out by night with his son-in-law, Rabbi Yitzchak Katz, and his devoted disciple, Yaakov Sasson. They went down to the banks of the Volta River, where the moon reflected against the quiet current of the water. They reached their hands into the bank of the river, and from the mud and clay, they shaped a form of a man, tall and strong, but lying motionless on the ground. Upon its tongue, the Maharal placed a slip of paper, a parchment bearing the unutterable name of God. And upon its forehead, he affixed the word emet, truth. Then his disciple, Yaakov, circled the clay body 7 times, chanting a now lost mystical combination of letters. And they called on the breath of the eternal to bring this being to life. The air danced, and the man of clay began to shine brightly. Hair and nails began to sprout long and sharp. The figure seemed almost alive. Then the Maharal's son-in-law, Yitzchak, circled the being 7 times, and they all whispered a verse from Genesis 2:7. Vayetzer Adonai Elohim et ha'adam, afer min ha'adama, vayifach be'efan nishmat chayim, vayeh adam lenefesh chaya. God formed the human, blowing into his nostrils the breath of life. The human became a living being. As soon as the last words escaped their mouth, the clay man began to move. It drew a breath. It opened its eyes, yet it couldn't speak. The Maharal let out a victorious laugh. It's alive! Strangely, at that exact moment, lightning pierced the cloudless sky. Looking at the creature, the Maharal commanded it, "Kum, stand," and the creature obeyed. The 3 men quickly dressed it in servant's clothes and led it to the Beit Midrash, the house of study. As 3 they had gone out, as 4 they returned. The creature soon became a protector of the ghetto. The townspeople, at first afraid, quickly took a liking to this clay man, going so far as to give it a name, the Golem, meaning the simple one. But the Maharal had a soft spot for his creation and offered it a proper name, Joseph, naming him, of course, after that half-demonic, half-man in the Talmud that had so often come to the aid of the rabbis. Joseph's strength was that of 10 men. He feared neither fire nor flood. Time and again, when mobs rose with torches and pitchforks, Joseph stood silently at the gates, a living wall between the people and destruction. Soon the blood libels faded. The Jews of Prague began to live without fear, to study and pray and laugh as God intended. But the Maharal worried. Power, he knew, is a dangerous gift. He warned his students never to use Joseph's strength for petty tasks. Yet, as stories go, his warning went unheeded. One Friday night, a few disciples sent Joseph to fetch water for Shabbat. They were amazed when he returned moments later with 2 heavy buckets filled to the brim. But when they tried to stop him, the golem did not understand. He kept going and going, filling bucket after bucket until the house began to flood. You see, only the Maharal knew the command to redirect the golem. And luckily, the Maharal came barreling in just in time to save them from these flooding waters. Another time, the students sent Joseph to catch fish for dinner, and Joseph, the golem, did as he was told, and then some. In just minutes, the house was overflowing with fish flopping and scales flying until the Maharal intervened. Still, Joseph remained a faithful servant, and in turn, every week before sundown, the Maharal would remove the parchment containing God's name from the golem's mouth. For even a creature of clay must observe Shabbat. But one Sabbath, as the Maharal was preparing for Kabbalat Shabbat and readying himself to remove the parchment, he was called away on urgent pastoral matters. You see, the poor widow Gertrude had fallen gravely ill. So distracted was he that he forgot that they heard a great commotion outside, and the Maharal suddenly remembered. The golem, after hearing the beautiful song singing from the sanctuary of the Olten Shul, suddenly felt himself become whole. As the sun set, that extra spark of the divine that we all get on Shabbat had entered the golem too. But because he was just a creature of clay, a sudden surge of confusion and anger overcame him, and he began to destroy the very town he had been created to protect. Hearing the destruction, which reminded Maharal of his childhood and worms, he quickly rushed to action. He stopped the service so that he may protect his village from his very creation. And with his son-in-law and his disciple beside him, he found Joseph raging through the streets, his eyes glowing like embers. The 3 men hurriedly began a secret ceremony to reclaim the life they had once given. They crept up on Joseph, and just as he was about to hurl a bench through the butcher's shop, the 3 men circled the golem 7 times, counterclockwise, whispering prayers and mystical combinations of letters. Slowly, Joseph grew calm, his movements slowed down, and the bench dropped with a thud. His breathing softened, and at last he seemed to almost sleep. In that stillness, the Maharal carefully reached forward, erased the aleph from the word emet, truth, inscribed upon the golem's head. Now it only read met, dead. With the other hand, he carefully removed the parchment from the mouth of the creature. Where there was once a man, now stood nothing but a mound of clay. With reverence, the 3 men removed his clothing, burned them, and covered his body with 2 old talitot. The Maharal quickly carried the golem's remains to the attic of the synagogue, where he laid them to rest beneath the rafters. Rabbi Lo, the great Maharal, then quickly returned to the Kabbalat Shabbat service and resumed chanting Psalm 92, the prayer that had been previously interrupted. And once the sun had set on Saturday evening, the Maharal made a grand declaration. He decreed that no one should ever climb into the attic again, offering an excuse that it was unsafe, too full of old papers that could catch on fire. But those who knew the truth understood otherwise. Those who knew the story understood the deeper truth. They say to this day, beneath the roof beams of the Olten Shul, the golem still lies in silence, waiting. And should the Jewish people ever again face danger too great to bear, perhaps the clay will stir, the dust will rise, and the golem of Prague will awaken once more. And from that day forward, and still to today, a custom was born at the Synagogue of Prague to repeat Psalm 92 during the service as a tradition to remember that frightful night. Shabbat Shalom.
That means we shouldn't get robot butlers, right?
No.
Okay.
No robot butlers. Unless they're made of clay. That'd be a little weird.
Do they clean up after that?
I hope so. I don't clean. Well, in the spirit of the Oltenschule of Prague, we will do a reprise of Mizmor Shir on page 140.
מזמור שיר ליום השבת, טוב להודות לאדוני, ולזמר לשמך עליון, ולזמר לשמך עליון. מזמור שיר ליום השבת, טוב להודות לאדוני, ולזמר לשמך עליון, ולזמר לשמך עליון. להגיד בבוקר חסדך, ואמונתך בלילת. עזוב עלינה, ועלי היגיון בכינור. מזמור שיר ליום השבת, טוב להודות לאדוני, ולזמר לשמך עליון, ולזמר לשמך עליון. כי שמחתני אדוני בפועלך, במעשה ידיך רנן. מה גדלו מעשי אדוני, מאוד עמקו משפטך. מזמור שיר ליום השבת, טוב להודות לאדוני, ולזמר לשמך עליון, ולזמר לשמך עליון, ולזמר לשמך עליון.
We continue with the Aleinu on page 586. I invite you to rise.
עלינו לשבח אדון הכל, להתיק גדולה ליוצר בראשית, שהוא נוטה שמיים ויעשה לארץ, ומושב יקרו בשמיים ממעל, ושכין ארוזו מקרב מרבים, הוא אלוהינו משתחווים ומודים בפני מלכי המלכים, הקדוש ברוך הוא. ונאמר, והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ, ביום ההוא, ביום ההוא, יהיה אדוני אחד, ושמו אחד.
Please be seated. Many traditions have many ways in which they honor their loved ones this time of year, All Hallows Eve. We know that there is many ways of remembering, and the way that we do it in Judaism is through our Kaddish list. We remember Charles Adler II, Gertrude Benjamin, Gladys Bisgayer, Cecilia Epstein, Susan Evans, Muriel Philo, Mary Greenspan, Abraham Gross, Hannah Jean Hecht, Betty Katz, Samuel Kopp, Louis Kohler, Sally Levy, Eileen Levy, Isabel Loengard, Torsten Newman, Charlotte Spiegel, Alice Nook, Ida Yaffe, Robert Zlotoff. And the period of Shloshim, we remember Shelley Verber, Eric Davis. If there's any other names you'd like to add to this list, please say them now. Turning to page 598, we rise for the Mourner's Kaddish. Yitkada levi kadash shemei rabba, ve'alma divrach yirotei ve'almich malchutei, b'chayechon yomechon uv'chayei dekol beit Yisrael, ba'agala uvizman kariv imeru. Amen. Yehei shmei rabba mevarach le'olam ulmei almaya, Yitbarach v'yishabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitroman v'yitnaseh, v'yitadar v'yitalev v'yitalao shemei d'kudusha. Le'ela mikol berchata v'shirata, tushvachata v'nachmata, damiram be'alma v'yimeru. Amen. Yehei shlama rabba min shemaya, v'chayim aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'yimeru. Amen. Osei shalom b'mramav, u'ya'asei shalom, aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'yimeru. Amen. May the one who creates harmony on high bring peace to us and to all Israel, to which we say, Amen. Please be seated. Just a couple of announcements. Thank you to all those that have registered for Intro Judaism. There's still time. That begins next Wednesday. I'm excited to learn with all of you. My installation dinner, there are still tickets that are available for that, alongside trivia night on November 23rd. And it is now a reduced price flash sale, so get them while they're hot. And next week we get to do Shabbat all over again. Woo! Okay, great. This time, feel free to bring along your friends, your neighbors, the random guy next door, and most importantly, your families to celebrate together. We will begin at 5:30 p.m. with pizza. If there's a QR code, please RSVP so that we know how much pizza to buy. Additionally, on a serious note, as SNAP benefits potentially go on hold starting tomorrow here at Temple Ohev Sholom, we are dedicated to supporting our community during this time. We always have a food drive going on. There's boxes downstairs by the elevator or also in our office building. Please consider bringing in food that we can distribute to the Jewish Family Services Food Pantry. Additionally, if you know someone who needs financial assistance, I'm currently growing my discretionary account and I'm happy to support in whatever way I can. We will also have some essentials in the office for anyone who needs a sandwich and a warm conversation. Additionally, our Tikkun Olam Committee is monitoring the needs of the greater Harrisburg community. They're asking people to consider donating sleeping bags, blankets, and socks for those who are unhoused. These donations can also be dropped off either by the elevators or in the office. I would just want to thank you for helping us take care of our community, because together we can make a world of difference. Shabbat Shalom. We are going to have our finishing song tonight on page 625, Adon Olam, but I hear it's maybe a little spooky.
Little spooky.
A little spooky.
Adon Olam asher mala b'terem kol yitzir nivra v'yitnasav b'chefso kol hazar melech shemo nikra
always pays to have an organist, but that much more on Spooky Shabbat. All right, we finish with Kiddush on page 123.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, borei peri hagafen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kidshanu b'mitzvotav v'ratzavanu, v'shabbat kodsho be'ahava u'v'ratzon kinhilanu, zikaron ma'aseh bereshit. Ki hu yom tehillah lemikra'ei kodesh, zecher l'tziat Mitzrayim. Ki vanu v'charta v'yatanu kidasha mikol ha'amim, v'shabbat kodshecha be'ahava u'v'ratzon hinchaltanu. Baruch atah Adonai mekadesh haShabbat. Amen.
L'chaim. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, hamotzi lechem min haaretz. Amen. Please feel free to join us downstairs for a little light nosh and games. And Raina, what do you think? Should they help us take down the sanctuary by taking some of these pumpkins home? All right, take a pumpkin home. No tricks, just treats. See you guys downstairs. Shabbat shalom.